Watching Fool for the podcast. For the podcast. Fool for the podcast.
Like, what do you do, Lanice Monene? What do you do when people have expectations of you in multiple regards? And go.
When people have expectations of me in multiple regards, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, man. When people have expectations of me, like I used to handle it very different than I do now. So now, when people have expectations of me, like I don't know. For one, it's it depends on who it is.
Mm.
Because I need to know why you have that expectation of me. Now, if I work for you and you have X, Y, and Z expectation of me, okay, I understand why you have that expectation. Work needs to get done. But I don't work for nobody. So,
Period.
um, but
Mm-hmm.
or if it's something, oh, I expect you to do this because I asked you to do it and you said yes. That's different than I have expectations for you because I see right and wrong, and you need to do it this way because this is how I see it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. I
I
just clarity. Clarity is important, and then also let myself off the hook because just because you expect it doesn't mean I have to do it.
right. And it just kind of hits a point where like I don't know when expectations are ever really a good thing. Like when do
Mm,
you hear someone go, "Wow, that was exactly how I expected. That went great." Very rarely. Usually if something goes great, like it's almost met with a sense of joyous surprise. But when
mm-hmm.
you hear people kind of like phrase like, "Oh, like I expected this to happen," they'll be like, "Oh, da 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 cheated on me, just like I expected. I knew I would be cheating on. I knew a men ain't no good. I expected men to be like this. I expect, you know what I mean? Like, which
Yeah.
possibly, yeah, invalid. But it's like very rarely are expectations ever set up to be something of a good thing. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that's why I have this like hatred of expectations, and I think it kind of just stems. It goes from deep to shallow. Like
Mm.
shallow version of it, like when I was a kid or I was like little, and like my mom said she would get me like a pack of Yu-Gi-Oh cards from the store when she goes to the store. Comes back, there wasn't Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I expect Yu-Gi-Oh cards. You know what I mean? Like an
Mm-hmm.
expectation. And even though
Right.
that's fucking small, I think that has really like permeated my adult sphere. So it's
Mm.
been something I've been trying to work on to not have. I can have my set of I can have my set of expectations loosely, but
Mm-hmm.
not to be so like gung ho about them. Because also too, I don't want people to
Yeah.
expect shit from me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And expectations, I feel you with like it's very rarely like some exciting like oh, it reached my expectations. Yay! Like because expectations is par.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, if it's good, you expect it to go pretty good and it went pretty good. You're like, okay, just as I expected. Okay. Phew. It's like contentness. Like it's like, okay, bet.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Versus like, oh shit. Like 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 you want to bet.
Like sound like a fucking cartoon character. Like crazy
Courage. um,
courage.
but um But yeah, expectations, like a lot of times that's why people get their feelings hurt because like you have an expectation and it doesn't go that way, but you wouldn't be so upset by it if you didn't have the expectations to start with.
Mm.
It wouldn't be a letdown if you didn't, if you're expected, I'm gonna just take a lap.
Expectate.
I'm gonna just expectate my ass over
And I
here.
see you
What
got
the
on
hell?
track pants too. I saw those.
Okay, I'm expectating fast.
I
Um,
saw those. Expectating.
and I turned this fan off, so hopefully that's not y'all can't hear that. But
I didn't hear from the get go.
my expectations, nah, but like you have your expectations in one place or whatever, and like I don't know, I've definitely grown into that, as an adult to expect less, but not even
Hmm.
expect less, but to not expect
Yeah.
because I don't want to be let down. That like broken heart is because you had like you projected certain
Hmm.
expectations onto a situation or whatever it was that you didn't have full control over, you know?
Yeah. And I've like I've gotten so much better at not like clinging to an expectation because I think that's like the danger, like clinging to it. But where
Mm-hmm.
I feel like something I still have to work on is not letting other people's expectations that they're expectating on my behalf like affect me. Like if
Yeah.
I'm like, let's say I was in a relationship, I'm chilling, and it didn't work out. It's fine. We just didn't work out, and we go our separate ways. I'm chilling. I'm cool. And next thing you know, like, what if I have a friend who is like crying on my behalf or upset for me, and now I'm
Mm,
kind of feeling like, damn, am I going about this wrong? Like, should I be sad? Like, is that the proper reaction? Like, it's almost like their expectation for me is now like affecting how I would
yeah.
genuinely react to something because it no longer feels like I'm genuinely reacting. I'm like,
Right,
what's real
right.
and what's not because I'm letting their expectation affect how I'm proceeding forward, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Mm-hmm.
what I got to work on, letting other people's shit get in my ass. It's my shit. Like, let me have my shit.
Oh my God.
Let me have my shit.
Oh my
She said, oh! No!
my God.
We go
Fuck
from zero to
expectations. I was not
100.
expecting to hear that.
And that's the lesson of today, class. Don't have any
Oh God.
expectations because what am I going to do? I'm going to flip it on your ass. The next thing you know, your shit is in my ass.
That's a very interesting way to say what you eat don't make me shit. I want to hear that instead. I don't think that's what you was necessarily going for, but now I'm
It
starting
wasn't.
to
Yeah, I mean, you can take it. I mean, honestly, I would love for everyone to say this on a daily basis. So,
we
hey,
gotta stamp that, patent that shit.
hey, don't put your shit in my ass. Hey, hey, hey.
It did not hit better the second time. Um
Honey, did it hit the first? Thank you. Don't give me that much credit. Thank
it hit my
you.
heart in the worst way.
Mm.
I'll tell you that much. Because I was like,
Oh,
but
it hit my bowels, but yeah.
but that's real. That's it's hilariously real. But
Mm-hmm.
no, because people will like have you all types of fucked up chasing behind some shit that you realize at the end of the fucking run when you stop to catch your breath, like, why was I running again? Like you chasing
Yeah, yeah. Why are
something
we
that wasn't
running?
even, why are we running? Okay?
Yes.
Like you chasing after something that's somebody else's view. And a lot of times, like, I reached a point, I mean, and I've talked about this before and I'll talk about it. I'll probably talk about it more in depth. Um, as the podcast goes, especially if, anybody wants to hear any specific topics talked about. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I be telling my all my business, so y'all gonna hear it. But
Mm-hmm.
like like I got to a point where certain things I just didn't want to do no more. Like I just
Mm-hmm.
did not have the energy, like did not have the desire to do these things. And I realized a lot of those things were things I genuinely didn't want to do. These were things that I felt I had to do, or I felt like was expected of me to do, or, and I really just reached ahead with all those expectations, all the things, and I'm speaking specifically in regards to schooling. Like, I got fed up with trying to hustle everybody's expectations. Wasn't even my own. It wasn't even my
Mm-hmm.
fucking own. And I had to get out of that. And that's when my body slowed me down and made me stop, then I realized
Mm-hmm.
I'm so exhausted because I'm chasing after everybody's everything else that is not necessarily reflective of mine. So I
Mm-hmm.
literally cannot tolerate it nowadays. Like I cannot tolerate, my stomach gonna hurt. Like I can't,
Yeah.
like I will not have the energy, the desire, nothing to do. I can't even force myself to do certain tasks because it's not my expectation. Somebody else's, and I got.
Exactly. And that's like brings out a good point about like self expectation, which it's like I feel so much of like the human experience is having to like unpack what's you and yours or
Mm.
what's somebody else's or what you take on from somebody else. And like, you know, like part of it is like I feel like we are a cumulative of like we're all fucking up words today, honey. We got the moment this is over, we got to do Duolingo for English. Like literally, like oh, shit. But
Dead
like,
ass.
but like we like you know we're just like we're a conglomerate. There's a word I can say of a lot of our experiences, and part of that is like we experience other people's expectations of us. So I get it,
Mhm.
but it's almost like kind of like sifting through that and realizing what of all the expectations that people have of us do we actually like and want to value and want to keep, and what do we want to toss out? Like we don't do enough
Mhm.
tossing out as a
Mhm.
collective, you know, and
Mhm.
everyone. That's why there's like very little individuality. And I know it's kind of like getting better. Like we're kind of like valuing that a little bit more as a society, I guess, as compared to the past. But
Mhm.
methinks there's not enough of it. Like I just feel like I don't know, people don't value it. That's why, like, and this is a whole other topic for a whole other day. But so let's stamp that. But I can't wait until even more people are on like a more spiritual wave that
Mhm.
values one's individual relationship to whatever you want to call it, God, the universe, the ancestors, all of the above. Like, because like religion is like awesome and I love it. I just lied to your face. Religion is fine. I think that's what I wanted to say. I was like, all right,
Uh-huh.
calm down. I was like, calm down. I love it. Like, calm down, Roberto. Anyway, I just kind of got into this, like, I got into a people pleasing mode. I don't love it. I think it's hurt a lot of people. But that being said, I think it can do great things. I think it does have potential to do great things, and it has. Like, and I'll get into that another time. That'll be a topic on spirituality and religion. We'll do that later. But I feel like religion by its nature is something that people aren't ready for. It's a group coming together, and a group coming together, all spiritually inclined individually, can be very powerful. All a conglomerate of strong individuals in a group can do powerful, good things for people. But instead, religion is framed as people who are getting their individuality like funneled through a group setting, and they are told they're powerless, and now they have to listen to this one guy who has a really good connection with the other guy who has really good, you know what I mean? It's like it's a cult. But again, I don't know how I got on that topic. I went from I love it to being like it's a cult. Maybe that's why I love it. Who am I?
No, that's damn, hold on. I had something too. Oh, yeah, like once people get more spiritual and stuff like that. Like because a lot of like I think you had said like, we're doing more of the individuality or venturing into being more individual now, but I think you were like kinda that is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that statement because what we
Mm-hmm.
end up doing is really just finding like more categories. Like that's what we do.
We do.
Like we say, oh yeah, let's do, oh, this is individuality. But then you find other people who are collectively individual with you. And then now you just created a new category and
Uh-huh.
individualism is still dead. So you know what I'm saying? Like
And to
that,
that point,
yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say to that point, I feel like then maybe it's almost like finding like a balance, like having your individual self, then coming together as a group, but don't stay too long as a group because then you start
Mm-hmm.
to lose your individuality in the collective. And I think that could be said not only about religion, but about friend groups, about
Mm-hmm.
work, about whatever the case may be. When there's, because I feel like humans were all so linked by nature, but regardless of all of our differences, we're so similar that when we do get together for too long, we lose those differences a little bit and we conglomerate. And there is a beauty to it in the moment, but only if you know
Mm-hmm.
how to separate a little bit. It's like what I always said
Yeah.
with like relationships. It's like I feel like a beautiful relationship is two different colors, and I don't mean race, but I mean like two different, like let's say color swatches. I'm
Yeah.
using like a metaphor coming together. When they're in the relationship, they're a beautiful, whatever fucking blue and purple together would make. That makes that pretty thing. But if they can't separate every now and then to their own individual colors, it's not beautiful anymore. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
kind of like you just made one combined color in the
Mm-hmm.
moment one person like is not in the mood to be, insert what blue and purple are together. The moment the person's not in the mood to be that color and want to
Blurple.
be their blue or purple, what's it?
Blurple.
Oh, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. As in, that's what I thought you said. So fuck shit. But when they don't want to be blurple and they want to be purple,
Yeah.
like there's a conflict.
Yeah. Yeah.
We always come back to relationships.
Are we a relationship podcast? Well,
No,
the reality is no. The answer is no. But the reality is we relate with the things and people around us. So everything is a relationship to be real. Like
I
to be
relate with ships all the time. Yes.
I too relate with ships because I love me a little getaway. Put me on a little
A
cruise.
cruise.
Okay. Ooh, food for the
Yes.
cruise?
Stop. I want to go.
Food for the islands. Food for the getaway. I'm with it. All right. Y'all hit our Cash App, our food for the Cash App.
If you want to see us on a cruise, having a good time on a private island, hit us on the Cash App and the
We need
Venmo.
to or the Patreon. We need to monetize ASAP. Like
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, like everything is a relationship. Like whether it's you and a significant other, whether it's you and your mother, whether it's you and your kid, you and your sibling, like you and your friend, you and your coworker, all of that is relationships. So, I mean, it
Yeah.
always comes back to how you relate to people because we are social human beings. So,
Right.
but
Period.
now as far as what you said before that, I don't fucking remember. So,
Oh, I'm sure it's something about expectations and hopefully by now people don't expect me to stay on topic.
okay.
And if
No,
you do,
that's
that's your
very
problem. You're
fun.
part of the problem, right?
Like, but it's okay. We're just the human brain. This is your brain
Mm-hmm.
on thoughts, really. Or is
Mm-hmm.
it just me? My brain just be
No, I
everywhere.
be zip zapping. I be zip zapping everywhere. Like zip zapping all the time.
My brain is a
I be
little
zoning out
too
too.
absolutely.
No, honestly, I just gained consciousness. The whole time I was like out of consciousness. I'm like, where am I? It's
That's
like,
impressive.
ah,
That's
yeah.
impressive.
Where
I
am I being?
expected you to be in full attention,
Oh, no, you
but
didn't.
I was wrong. I don't have expectations. I done told
That's what I was
y'all.
about to say. You did not expect me to be in full attention. Oh, that's
But
bullshit.
we was talking about um things. It was the comment before the relationship. Everything's a relationship. Damn, I was gonna say something good too. Your
What was I
iPad zoomed
say?
in. I had to move too.
I know my iPad's so extra. I actually love it. Like my iPad feels like my witch familiar. I'm just like it's so cute.
Now I'm jealous. I definitely got to get me one because
You
that
gotta
that
get you one of
following you
them.
is
It's cute.
unmatched. It's adorable. I love it.
Hmm.
But yeah, oh yeah, when you want to be blurple and you don't want to be blurple no more. Like you have to. People don't set their own. Oh no no no. Here's this.
Oh.
People don't. People get really attached into what we expect the world to be and how we expect the world to be and what we have been told is most important before you realize nobody knows what the fuck is going on and everybody is winging it. Like, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like when you're younger, you have because it's your worldview. This is how your worldview has been built. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, so your worldview has been built this way, so you expect everybody's worldview to have been built this way. You expect
Hmm.
the world to cash in on the fact that it's supposed to be built this way. You know what I'm saying? You're looking for confirmation out in the world that, yes, it is built this way. Or you're
Hmm.
moving and making decisions based off of that assumption. But then when you get out here, you realize, like, nah, people's really just, it is the wild, wild west out this
Absolutely. I mean,
motherfucker.
we live in a system, honestly, that like the system we live in, it's like a toxic relationship. It's constantly seeking validation from us at the expense of our entire lives to validate it
If you let it. Mm,
if you
if
let
you
it.
fucking let it.
And it's like, I feel like just people don't like myself sometimes included. I've been getting better with it, but it's like whenever any issue happens, we like see it from like just a straight up issue without looking at
Mm-hmm.
like the bigger picture of things. And like one thing
Yeah.
I was even realizing, I was like walking down the street and I like looked up at the sky and shit, and I was like, huh. I was like, I realized I don't look up a lot. Like I don't look at
Mm-hmm.
the sky a lot, and it's like it really like it sounds cheesy and stupid, but it really does create like a whole other like framework of perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Like you look up and you're like, oh, like that's a lot of shit up there. Like it's so expansive. It's not just the building in front of me, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And I feel like that's just kind of how like people on the day to day just kind of like navigate life, and that's kind of like sad. Like we
Yeah.
got to expand our worldview because it's like if you just looking straight ahead and just focus and funneled in on the thing right in front of you, you're gonna start having anxiety and getting stressed the fuck out.
Mm-hmm. And or mis mispurporting. I'm making a word
Mm-hmm.
up, I think. I like misunderstanding the proportion of things. You start
Mm-hmm.
thinking when your worldview is only 20 feet, is only 10 feet tall, metaphorically or
Mm-hmm.
physically. You know what I'm saying? Your worldview is only 10 feet tall. You start to forget that there are 30 feet problems out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
you start to think when you only see this, you start to forget all of this even exists. Like I you can ask my mother, like me and her, like we had this thing. I say, like you're here, move here.
Yeah.
Because you're down here, you're looking at the problem only here. It's tunnel vision. You're only seeing this part, but what you actually got to do is move back here. So you still see what the issue was straight ahead, but you also see all of this stuff out here, which not only like puts it into proportion, but also helps you see past it to see that this
Mm-hmm.
like because so many problems be seeming so
Yeah.
heavy because you're only looking right here. But when you look in the grand scheme of things, whether it's the grand scheme of your life, the surroundings around you, or like the world, like that first world problems, that's
Mm-hmm.
that incarnate. Like it's like you realize, oh my God, I lost the AirPod. This is the worst thing. And it's like, yeah, people are losing their houses, their lives, their parents. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and that's not to say that your problem isn't a problem, but it's just to put it in proportion.
It's almost like we self distract. Like it let's say like
Mm,
one is upset because it's kind of by our nature, is like what we've been taught through system shit. But it's like let's say like middle class person, they have AirPods. I'm gonna use your example. And there's so much shit because they hate their job, they're not getting paid enough. Everything is just fucking stressful, and it's because of like a system that they're in place of, and it's something that stresses them out, but they really don't know how to
mm,
go about showing that. And now they lost an AirPod. All the anger is in that lost AirPod now.
mm-hmm,
It's almost like we've been kind of like programmed to misdirect our wrath. And like back to proportionizing, the lost AirPod should get 15% of my wrath when the
mm-hmm,
other amount should go towards a lot of these things that have me boxing in a position where a fucking broken AirPod is messing up my day. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
Like there are other ways to put it, but we're all so like, well done, whoever designed this. Well done.
Mm. It, hmm,
Yep.
hmm,
Mm-hmm.
mm. Genius.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Because absolutely, we're just, oh, well, let me not deal with this right now. Let me not deal with that right now. And then we end up never dealing with anything. We end
Yeah.
up just distracting, just
Mm-hmm.
like, you need to have a good cry. Stop
Yeah.
watching something funny instead. Watch something that's gonna make your ass cry. Like, go
Get
and
get
let
it
it
out.
out, feel your
Right.
feelings, and
Move
move
on.
on. Hmm.
Period.
Okay, you heard it here first. Fool for told you. Feel your
Move
feelings
on.
and move on.
And move on.
Move on.
Move step forward.
Move on.
Go past go.
What?
Collect
Mm.
$200.
When I move, you move. Move on.
Just like that.
Mm.